All right. Well, we're recording, so we can get this show on the road as soon as we want to.
That should be the cold open. Just like, well, we're recording, so
I guess we'll start.
How you doing?
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Team Chat Podcast, a video game show. I am one of your hosts, Jerrett Wilson, joined by my co-host, Rachel Mogan.
Buongiorno.
Buongiorno. I stopped you before you get that
pre-show
sip.
I was going for it, but then I realized that I actually can't because I don't have my koozie, so I can't really.
Oh, it's not a quick.
My
it's not a
fingies
quick
keep
grip.
getting a little bit wet, and I don't.
Yeah.
Do
you need a koozie before we get going?
Yes. No, I'm kidding. I
Okay.
don't.
I'll say I'm about to do the intro.
Get up to get the
you
koozies
can get the koozie if you
from
want.
the koozie jar, which I can easily reach myself.
I like how people other people have cookie jars. We have koozie jar. We got to keep those drinks nice and cool.
They are in a cookie jar, though.
They
like
are.
You put the koozies in the cookie jar.
So it works.
So, yeah.
It works on multiple levels.
Well, really, which is more important? A cookie or a nice, properly cold, frosty beverage that doesn't get your fingies wet when you pick it up?
I don't know. I'm kind of leaning towards cookie.
I'm leaning toward koozie. You're a barbarian.
Well, you'll hear hot takes such as taking a koozie over a cookie here on Team Chat Podcast, a video game show where we talk about games, the ones we love, the ones we hate, and everything in between. New episodes come out on Thursday mornings, and you can listen to those on podcast services around the World Wide Web, as well as watch a video version of each episode over on our YouTube channel. Links for all that are in the description below. You can find us on social media at Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can join our Discord server where we have a lot of great conversations about gaming topics and non-gaming related topics. And also, you can head over to patreon.com/Team Chat Podcast, just like a bunch of cool kids such as Super Saiyan Ace, Elise F, Zach S, Mariah S, Susan M, James K, Ben W, Michael B, Fuchsia Rascal, Andrew M, Michael S, and Brandon W have done. They've gone over to patreon.com/Team Chat Podcast to support the show for as little as $1 a month. You can do that too. For doing so, we give you a lot of cool perks like getting the episodes early before their general Tuesday release and early access to anything extra that we do alongside a private channel on our Discord server, the Rogues Gallery. But if you can't do that, that's no big deal at all. We totally understand, and there are a lot of great ways that you can help support the show other than that, such as telling your friends, writing us reviews, subscribing wherever you listen to or watch the show, smashing that like and subscribe button. Smash it.
Don't pass on this. You gotta smash.
Do not pass on DJ Podcast. Hit that smash button.
We want to smash you too. It's a mutual smash.
It's a mutual smash pass. But
oh boy.
Check all that out if you want to. But thank you to each and every one of our listeners, patrons, and viewers alike. We love you all. Heart emojis. Thanks for being
big smashing heart.
Big old smashing heart. But we've got a fun episode for you coming up this today because we're doing a couple of two reviews, actually. Two reviews. But first, though, before we jump into that, I do want to ask you, how are your flat butt gaming sessions going in the old Horizon Forbidden West?
I woke up early Saturday morning, which for me means 9 a.m.,
Nice.
which is like a record that I was actually up and out of bed. And I pretty much gamed straight from 9 a.m. to about 3 p.m.
Nice.
I only paused once to make French toast, and then I got right back to
breakfast of champions.
Yeah, I was like, I'm going to need some extra padding on the old butt. Make sure it doesn't go totally flat.
Gave me an extra hour or two.
So I actually made real story progress in Horizon.
Congratulations.
So this is a very mild spoiler, but I finally got 2 of Gaia's subfunctions.
Oh, okay. So you made
now
serious progress.
Way ahead of you, buddy.
Yeah, you are, because I still have not made it to the first of the subfunctions. Also, I'm still derping around in the forbidden area, the no man's land, basically.
Oh,
area.
yeah. I'm pretty sure that we may have said something that wasn't correct last time, where we said that Poseidon was technically the first of the subfunctions. By level, it's actually not. Aether is.
Aether's the first one.
It's just that Aether is further into the map, so most players are probably going to do Poseidon first, just because it's air quotes closer.
Got it.
But it's really not. I mean, like, you could pretty much just go in one direction or the other and wind up hitting gold either way. So I now have 2 of the subfunctions. Good for me. And I desperately need you to go to Aether. Even if you haven't done Poseidon yet, ignore it. Go straight to Aether.
That is the one I've been heading towards.
Good, because there's a couple of reasons for that.
Okay.
One, and this isn't really a spoiler, it gives you access to that area of the map gives you access to some really good weapons.
Ooh.
So go that way. You're going to run into merchants and
Okay.
stuff that just have like good stuff, and you're like, oh shit, this is really.
I think
useful.
that's still my big problem because I
Yeah.
am struggling.
Yeah, no, definitely go for Aether if you need better weapons, because now that I'm over there, I'm like, oh, they wanted you to go here first because this is where all the good shit is.
Yeah.
I literally did hard
All right,
mode.
then maybe I need to quit derping around doing side quests
Yeah.
and actually get into the story a
So
little bit more.
go there. Plus, it unlocks some other just really fun side stuff, and most importantly of all, Husbando Central.
Husbando Central, amazing.
Husbando Heaven, you might even say. First of all, why doesn't that dating sim exist? Husbando Heaven? I would play that
Trademark
game in a
it.
heart
Right now.
trademark.
We
Nobody
already
can have
submitted it.
It's our game.
You can't have it.
Husbando Heaven. And I really need you to get there so that we can talk about it and
Okay.
compare notes. I don't know if you saw it, but if you were in the Team Chat Rogues Gallery as a patron,
I was.
I
wasn't there.
posted a snap of. So when you type into ye old Google machine Aloy X and then blank, like
Yeah.
for ships, mine's not even on the list. I'm like, no, my ship is too niche. But I know exactly
Oh
who
man, I'm
she'd
very
be
curious.
happiest
Okay,
with.
I have to then get there,
You
and I'm
have to
I'm
get
gonna try to
there.
guess
Oh yeah,
and to find out what it is.
yeah. I mean, it's gonna be
Who it
it's
is.
gonna be so easy. You're gonna be like, oh,
That
I get it.
Mogan's type right there.
All you have to, you already know it's long dark hair, big eyebrows.
Oh, okay, we're there.
You've already you'll be
All
like, oh,
No, immediately who
there
you're
he
going
is.
for.
I get it.
Yeah, no, I have made more hours progress in the game, but not more story progress because I am still messing around. I have it. It's almost to the point of an obsession now, where I'm trying to still beat that one side quest with Draka, the Tanaka dude, who like you have to go to that like cave or like valley and fight the Ravagers. And
dude, give up on that.
no, I'm like I keep just checking back on it. I'm not like still sitting there and just grinding out hours trying to beat that. Just for whatever reason, I cannot beat 2 Ravagers. They ravage me.
So this is something that I've noticed in Aloy Goes West. Every time I try to think of the real name, my brain's like, nope, nothing to see
Horizon
here.
Forbidden Dawn of the West.
All I've got is Aloy Goes West. The thing that I've noticed is that I am really, really not good at timing my combat well enough from when you shoot like a usable weapon off of a creature and then effectively using that.
Yes.
Like I'm always way too close to the monster. It always just winds up trampling me. It knocks the weapon out of my hands. And I'm like, why do we even try? I just need to stick to what I'm good at, which is very long range, hide behind cover, shoot at them with my arrows until they eventually die.
Nice. It's a good strategy. And, and at least the game offers you that as a viable play
the
option.
usable weapons do so much damage, though. I'm really taking the hard way out.
Yeah, I mean, with the Ravagers especially, that that cannon that's like the repeater cannon on top, that thing is ridiculous, and it takes so many hits to knock it off and break it to be even able to use it.
What's your primary bow right now?
I think I just got a one that's a blaze one, but it's blue. It has both like normal damage and blaze arrows, but then I also have another bow that's acid and freeze, and that one is only a green, so I know I need to get a new updated version of that. But I'm a level 19.
Oh. Well, that's probably about. Well, you're on very hard bow. Though.
Yeah.
I was about to
which
say
is
that's
also
about
part of it.
Yeah, dude, there's no shame in going down to regular.
Oh, I know,
normal.
but I'm having a good time with it. It's still. I'm just like, why can I not beat? I actually did. Okay, so there is a Tallnick. We'll get off of this quick. I know we're spending a lot of time both on our Discord and in episodes talking about Horizon Forbidden West. But hey, it's a great game and it's an awesome game. It deserves to be talked about. But
do you want a hint for a side quest that gives you a great bow?
Maybe. Let me think on it.
You think on it.
Let me think on it.
Because I was trying to think, like, where did I get that kick-ass bow from?
Yeah.
It comes from a side quest that I don't think you're very far away from.
Okay.
So it might be able to give you a leg up in combat.
Okay. I'll check that one
Just
out.
keep
I'll
it-
think
just-
about
yeah,
it. I'll
just
think about it.
noodle on it,
I'll put a
noodle
pin in
on
it
it.
and just know to
it's
be
good.
like, hey, I'll hit up Mogan for a little hint. But no, I have been just doing all that stuff and trying to just get a little bit more gear so I feel better prepared for stuff. But I do think, maybe I'm just struggling against a wall and need to actually progress in the story to get to better
Is your armor
areas.
fully upgraded?
No, because I'm also like trying to. I have blue armor sets right now, and I'm trying to. And I'm like on the. I have like the last upgrade, but especially the one I bought. I got the Karja Shadow.
Oh, yeah. That one's actually pretty good.
Yeah,
that one's
but it
quite
has a lot of stuff that you need that I haven't quite got to yet.
Do
for
Ravagers
upgrades.
do plasma damage?
It's like electric. It's mostly shock.
Oh,
I think.
Well, have you checked to make sure that you're not weak to shock damage?
Yeah.
Okay,
No, I
just
specifically
checking.
have a coil in it that
Oh,
ups
okay,
my shock.
okay,
So
well.
I'm still struggle busting.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I was saying. There was actually a tall neck that is walking along in a circle, and it's being followed by 2 burrowers and 2 ravagers.
Oh, yes, it is. I know the one you're talking about.
I actually beat the 2 ravagers there, but something happened where I could not figure out how to get on top of the tall neck, or it glitched out with like something else killed one of the other burrowers, so it didn't count that I killed it. I don't know. So it didn't unlock. So I ran around trying to kill other stuff or find whichever one it was. And and I walked far enough away that it reset it. And when I went back, the Ravagers were back.
Oh my
and
God.
I was so mad.
I would have been like, bye. Peace out.
I did. I quit playing for the day. I was like, that's enough.
Do you want a quick tip?
Yes.
You actually can't get onto that one yet. Give up on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll
Don't
move
bother.
on.
Just move
I
on.
ran around it in circles for so long, and I was just like, why can't I get on this one yet? And I was
For a good reason.
I'm assuming there's something else. Okay, that makes sense then. I will pass it on and just head straight to Aether then.
I'll give you a hint. I'm not even. I can't even get on it yet.
Oh.
And I've made it way further. So,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well then, yeah. Alrighty, I'll have to figure that out then for my own. But yeah, I'll head straight to Aether so that I can start
Get all
getting
those
caught up
sweet,
to you, so we can compare
husbandos.
husbandos
Yeah.
round 2.
One other small note: the bane of my existence in that game, ducks.
Ducks?
Dude, I kid you not, probably about 30 solid minutes just trying to get a duck wishbone. I don't know what it is about the ducks. So somebody, I think in one of our streams mentioned that like back in Horizon Forbidden West, Horizon Zero Dawn, the pigs or the boar or something were like, they would know about you the second you came in range, and they would run, and they were super hard to hunt. That's ducks in this game. Ducks are so hard to find, and they're so hard to kill before they run away. And I hate it. I hate ducks. So if you find some duck wishbones, please trade them to me, which I wish was a feature
A thing
in the
that
game.
you could do.
Yeah.
Multiple Aloys just running around and you just trade stuff with
Just
them.
like, here you go.
Thanks, Aloy.
Yeah,
You're welcome,
hey,
Aloy.
You're welcome. That'd be awesome.
All right, well, we'll jump into our reviews that we've got lined up for you all today. We've got 2 of them. Mogan is bringing I'm actually not sure when this game came out. Is it fairly recent?
No, it is not.
Okay, it's an
So
older
this is definitely, I mean, it's not
Not like old, but-
exactly, but
yeah.
it's definitely not new. So I'm going to talk about Cozy Grove.
Ooh, very fun.
So Cozy Grove is one of those, I guess you would sort of call it a life sim game, similar to Stardew Valley and Animal Crossing, in that you are basically just playing as a little person, and you have certain amounts of tasks and jobs that you do every day, and you go around and you talk to people, and you make friends, and there's no combat. It's just a very chill, nice, pleasant experience. So if you're the kind of person, the TLDR, the ultimate TLDR, if you're the kind of person that likes games like Animal Crossing and Stardew Valley and Littlewood, you will probably love Cozy Grove.
Okay.
It is, I will say, very similar. I think it's probably the most similar to Stardew Valley, but it has a couple of things about it that really help it stand on its own. So I'm going to start with the thing that makes Cozy Grove the worst. We're going to start with the worst and then work our way up to the things that I like about it, because there's really only one major flaw of the game that I personally can think of. I'm sure other people might find other minutiae to complain about, but really the primary reason to not play Cozy Grove on the Switch is that it does not run well.
Oh.
Frames drop right, left, and center, especially when you attempt to run. Like if I try to run from one side of the map to the other side, every step will be...
Did it get any better in docked mode if you played it in docked?
No, I always played in docked, and it is just
that's
as
even
bad.
docked.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, baby,
Okay.
it's bad no matter what. It is from Spryfox Studios, is the developer behind it. It's not only available for Switch, it is also on Steam, and knowing that, it's also on PS4, so it has now been ported to PS4, Xbox One, and Steam, and apparently Apple Arcade, which is wild to think about. So... unfortunately, I'm going to have to go ahead and make the recommendation. Don't play it on the Switch. I think you will have the far subpar experience, and if I had known that going into it, I would have bought it for PS4, where it hopefully runs far better, because the Switch version is painful.
And that's a shame, because it's a very pretty game from looking at
It's so pretty.
looking at all the screenshots. And
I
stuff.
know, it sucks. So that that is the thing that is bad about Cozy Grove. On the Switch is that it runs horrendously, and it honestly does almost ruin the experience. but I'm still
I
playing.
don't know. I feel like that would ruin it for me.
I am
quite
still
honestly.
playing. I am.
That's one of the reasons why I dropped Cyberpunk. My character wouldn't stand still.
Oh God. Well, other than the frame drops, the game is so pretty to look at because it's got this sort of storybook illustrative. It's really like a moving illustration quality because it's this top-down kind of isometric view of an island. So Cozy Grove is an island and you are a spirit scout. So you get to just make your own little non-talking avatar person and name it, of course. And mine is Mogs or Mogi. What did I name myself? I always name myself either Mogs or Mogi in most games. So if you ever see me out in the wild and you get killed by a Mogi, that was me. I just want you to know. There are many of us. So you play as a little spirit scout. So in theory, your troop, because it's like Girl Scouts, but for ghosts. They should have named it Girl Scouts for Ghosts.
Ghost Scouts.
Ghost Scouts. Yeah, there we go. So Spirit Scouts have basically sent you out on a mission to what they hoped was a really easy assignment. Like, okay, you've been in the Scouts for a while now, you've gotten some badges, now we actually need you to go out into the wilderness and help a ghost. So they meant to send me, my little character, to, I think it may have, Cozy Cove. They meant to send me off to Cozy Cove, but due to an administrative error, which you learn through a series of letters with your Scoutmaster back home, the Scoutmaster's like, oh, you're on Cozy Grove, you said?
Not supposed to be there.
You're not supposed to be there. And also, when you wash up on shore, you don't wash up on shore, but when you... Oh, Fender's getting somebody. He's just woofing. He's getting somebody. When you get to the island, you dock your little rowboat and you go and you set up camp. The next day, your rowboat has washed away. So you are, in fact, now trapped on Cozy Grove, and there is no way for you to get off because all of the inhabitants are ghosts. What are they going to do?
They can't help you build a boat.
They can't help you. They can't.
It passes through their fingers.
Yeah, they literally cannot help you, but you can help them, and that's your entire job. So the whole point of Cozy Grove is that through your daily life and your daily interactions with the ghosts of the island, you are helping them basically come to terms with, you know, the things that happened in their life that are keeping them in the mortal realm. I really like the way the game is structured, and I think that's one of the key things about it that I feel like kind of sets it apart from Stardew Valley and the Animal Crossings of the world is that it has such a structured, formulaic approach. Stardew does as well. I think Animal Crossing is a lot loosey-goosier depending on how you play it. Cozy Grove has a firm, specific set of things that it wants you to do per day. So every day, and in-game, every day is in fact matched to the real-life calendar.
Okay.
But not in terms of our months. It basically just says, okay, you're on day 1. The next day you play, it's day 2. Next day, it's day 3. So it's just numeric days. There's no actual, well, it does mirror the seasons, though. But the point is, whatever. You're just on a series of days, and you can time travel forward, but not back.
Oh.
So, pro tip for players that are used to Animal Crossing rules, you can skip forward in time by changing your Switch's date and time. But if you try to go back, it will still tell you, nope, you were on day 39, and you are still on day 39. You cannot go back. You can only go forward.
What's the benefit of jumping forward? Just to like save time?
No, if you're trying to speed something up. So like, let's say, for example, that I am trying to help a specific, I'm going to call them islanders. Let's call them islanders instead of villagers. Let's say that you're trying to help one of the ghosts with a specific task, but you had to order something from the store that's going to take 17 hours to deliver to you. And you're like...
And that's real-time hours.
And that's real-time hours.
Got
so it's
it.
like, I'm going to need to
I'm going to jump ahead.
Yeah, going to need to speed this
because
up.
Because you're not going to sit there and play 17 hours, but you don't want that to like be holding you back in the progress, so you want to just... Okay.
But I really would say that overall, the incentive to time travel is really not that great because the whole point of the game, and I think the whole vibe that it really excels at, is structuring itself to be almost a perfect 1 hour of playtime every single day. I think that even now that I've unlocked a bunch of new characters to interact with and a bunch of new quests that I can pursue, even then my systems are so efficient now that you can just play that 1 hour, get all of your quests done, and then you're like, great, done for the day. I will see you all tomorrow. Because in addition to not being able to speed certain things up because of just the time that it might take to craft something or to cook something, you might just hit a wall with a character where they themselves are like, okay, thanks for doing blah, 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 and blah with me. I've gotten some of my memories of my mortal life back. I'm going to need some time to think about this. And it's like, cool, you do you. I'm going to go fishing. I'll see you tomorrow, I guess, and hopefully you'll have something to say, but they don't always.
Right.
So it just depends on how the ghosts are feeling and how your quests are going with them. So I love the game. I think it is a phenomenal thing to just do a little bit of every day. And if you miss a day, so this is something that I think kind of sets it apart from other games, there's no penalty. Mm-hmm. You don't lose anything by not playing a day, other than you might skip a season.
Okay.
So if you miss a season, which does, it makes new bugs, it makes new fish on the island, and it makes new produce. I think like new fruits and stuff will spawn on the island depending on what season it is. You might miss out on some stuff, but it's not that big a deal. Yeah. Like you can find the other stuff. The quests are all really fun and easy, and one of the normal ones that I really actually like is that it's just hide and seek.
Oh, that's fun.
It's like, okay, I need you. The imps stole my coffee, and I need you to go and track them down and get my coffee back. I'm the mayor, god damn it. You think I can do my job without coffee? Because
absolutely
I can't. Not. Valentina's the ghost mayor. She's so funny. The characters themselves are amazing. So you might have to go chase down some imps, bash into them with your little scout body, and then they drop the coffee and you're good. Or it might be like, I'm pretty sure that I had some tools laying around, and now I don't know where they are. Can you go find my hammer and nails? And you might have to just go around to different parts of the island, which you don't necessarily know exactly where they are, but basically look in like the foliage and stuff for where those objects literally are just laying around on the map. And what makes that a little bit more interesting and difficult is that the illustrations that you saw of sort of the way that the island looks actually change depending on how happy the ghosts are in that location. Because if a ghost is still hollow, if it just kind of looks like an ordinary ghost, that means that it has a quest unfulfilled. Mm-hmm. And when you fulfill that quest, the ghost regains a little bit of, I guess it's not really corporeality or tangibleness, but they just sort of get some energy back. Mm-hmm. And then there's this big little explosion and a radius around them will burst into life. Because before that, there's no color in the island.
Okay.
It's just basically like black and white empty space. So you have to fulfill ghost quests so that you can bring more color back to the island and slowly but surely place lanterns around that basically light up the entire island and make it inhabitable for everybody. So there's a ton to do. It's a really simple but fun game. It runs like hot trash on the Switch. Definitely would not recommend it. Get it for any other console, but on any other console or platform, really like solid 8 out of 10.
Nice.
You know, in terms of flat butts, flat.
It's pretty flat?
I mean, not that flat because it's only an hour a day, so it's definitely not Aloy Goes West flat, but it's like, yeah, pretty solidly horizontal line. Not concave, but pretty flat.
Very nice.
Cozy Grove. Nice flat butt gaming game.
It sounds like it sounds fun, but in the way that it's like, it seems like just a combination of Stardew Valley, but even Spiritfarer. Like more in how like Spiritfarer, you have like the goals and like the things that you have to accomplish for the people to be able to fulfill them, to make them whole from their life.
I am so glad you brought that up because I feel like, so I really haven't even touched on the story of Cozy Grove, but as you start, for a good reason, I don't want to ruin it with spoilers or anything, but as you do start to talk to more of the ghosts, you start to realize that like, things might be a little bit more connected than they first seemed. And characters might actually know more about other stuff than they're letting on or that they remember. Mm-hmm. So there definitely is a story kind of hidden under your daily quests and like this facade of lightheartedness. The characters do actually have a lot of depth to them. And a lot of the times they're, you know, remembering things about their past life and they're like, oh man, this sucks. Mm-hmm. So it definitely has its more emotional moments, but I think they're handled very well. The dialogue is written so funny. There's obviously no voice acting in this game per se, but the dialogue is hilarious. I really like all of the characters' storylines, and in comparison to Spiritfarer, I think it does a better job of executing on that idea.
Right.
That idea of you're helping spirits so that they can cross over. I think it's doing just a better job of that in general. And if you had to pick, I want to play Spiritfarer or I want to play Cozy Grove, my vote's for Cozy Grove.
Well, Spiritfarer, to be fair, also like you didn't connect with its ending at all and its tone, and it just like was not the right not the right game for the time you played it in. And so like, I understand that leaving kind of a bad taste about it too, sure but it seems like this one is the exact opposite.
It is.
And was actually a very fun time all the way through.
I would really describe it as the perfect Sunday morning gaming game. Oh, like that's exact
peak
vibe.
Relaxation,
mornings, evening wind down game would definitely be a good match for that because it does actually mirror the day-night cycle as well. So if you're playing at night, it'll be dark out, but quality of life feature, you can toggle on, I want it to always be day.
Oh,
so even if you're playing at night, you don't have to mess with the clock. You can just say, nope, it's just in settings. You can turn it on and off at will at any time. Good quality of life stuff.
Very nice.
We all like that.
Very nice. We do love to see stuff like that.
So Cozy Grove, it's excellent. Don't play it on Switch, but it is still very much worth the play.
Very cool.
Final review.
Well, this review that I was going to bring to the show today is another game that's not, it's a few months old at this point, but it is Far Cry 6.
I'm not going to lie. It feels older than that.
October, which does, I mean, in this new weird warped sense of time that we all have, that does feel like it was a while ago. I had to legit kind of think a bit and be like, was it only October? Was it more than a year ago? No, just a few months ago.
Just a few months.
But Far Cry 6 was an enjoyable experience. I will go ahead and just say right out front, the TLDR, if you will. Like, I did have a lot of fun playing it. I probably spent the least amount of time in it than other Far Cry games, I will say. Because I feel like this one, I came into it, I played through the story. I'm not actually sure my total hour count, but I feel like I was in and out relatively fast. I want to say it was like
less or more than 50.
Less. I want to say it was like 38.
Wow, you usually put like at least 60 plus hours in games like that.
Because and the whole thing about it is I really just liked the story of this one a lot, and so I wanted to like really power through that and experience it more compact than I usually do with big open world games like that. And once I got through that and kind of got to it, this, you can take it as a pro or con either way. There wasn't just a ton of reason for me to keep going and the other things for me to do. I'm like, it's done. I went through the story. I got a lot out of the story, but I don't feel the need to go through and clear every checkpoint, find every hidden treasure and different stuff like that. I haven't ever actually in the past platinumed no, I take that back. I did with Far Cry Primal. I did platinum. I was about to say,
I feel like you did. I did. For one of them.
I almost lied, but other than that, I haven't. That one was just an incredible Far Cry game, and I love that.
I was about to say, I feel like nobody talks about Far Cry Primal anymore.
Primal, I think no one really does, honestly. And I think the big reason for why I attached onto it so much is it was very different. Like, it committed, like, Horizon kind of has that, like, ancient peoples, like, Stone Age feel to it. But it also has that futuristic twist. This one fully committed to just, this is, the Stone Age, and we are going to just have a story in this, and it's going to be brutal. You're going to get to ride a goddamn saber-toothed tiger, and you're going to love it, which I did.
So this is a real quick aside that has nothing to do with anything, but now that you've said it, I want to ask, is there any creature in Horizon that is a robotic saber-tooth?
I want to say there is, yes. In Horizon Zero Dawn, I want to say there is one.
Because now that it didn't even occur to me before, but now that you've said the word saber-tooth tiger out loud, I'm like, how sick would that be? I think
there is one.
If you could find a saber-tooth.
I'm going to have to double check myself, but I think there is.
Okay, awesome, cool.
I don't know if you could write it, but I know it's one you fought.
Good to know.
I think. I feel like it was even like early in Horizon Zero Dawn.
Oh, really?
I feel like.
Oh. Well, we'll figure it out.
Maybe I'm thinking of the Ravager again. I don't know. But anyway, so, I really love Far Cry Primal. Far Cry 3 is also another one that I kind of like hold as like those two are like the big ones for me in the series.
And I feel like Far Cry 3 kind of holds up that reputation with other gamers too, because I hear a lot of people
Far Cry 3 was
reference
fantastic.
Far Cry 3. Whereas Primal, like, it got such good reviews at the time, and I just feel like everybody kind of forgot about it after they played it.
Well, and honestly, I kind of feel like there was more of a mixed reception too. Like, from overall, like, I feel like there were a lot of people who were like, the story kind of is lame. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm not necessarily focusing on the story in this one because I think the setting of this one is so badass. So anyway, of the two, I think of the series, I still think Far Cry 3 is my favorite for what we've talked about, like Voss being just an incredible villain. And I think he was really well done and incorporated into the story. Primal, I think, is top notch because of its setting. Just not a setting that you see in games that much, and I fucking loved it. Far Cry 6 fits somewhere in the middle. Like it's not quite as good as 3, but it's also no Far Cry 5, which Far Cry 5, I did not like.
Yeah, I remember that. So Far Cry 6 is the one that takes place in Cuba?
No. It's Yara, fictional country of Yara.
Oh, okay, gotcha. But it was modeled after Cuba,
yes,
right?
yes,
Okay,
yes,
gotcha.
yes.
I was like, I didn't imagine
a country like
that,
it's modern day, but like kind of held back in its time. So there are older style modern cars, not as much access to. But then also yes, kind of more because it's also. Let me set it up, I guess. So,
what's the premise of this?
What's the premise of this tale?
Because they always, except for Primal, they always have a story. What's the story?
Primal, you just were a caveman.
You're just a caveman. You don't have thoughts enough to make a story. Which, you know what? That tracks.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, the point is, tell me about Far Cry 6.
So Far Cry 6 it takes place on the fictional island nation of Yara, and the country is currently under the dictator rule of Anton Castillo and his in his regime. Like, he has his admirals, his generals, yes. And then there's even in his son, Diego, who he's like training up to be his successor and everything. You play as Danny Rojas, and you can be either male or female versions of the character. And I played as the male Danny Rojas. Change of pace. I normally do usually play as the female characters in these games.
Equality.
But you know what? I felt like switching it up this time. And so I did play as Danny Rojas, but basically he is an orphan who was taken and raised and brought up in Anton's army to be a soldier. But then I can't remember the specifics. I don't think he defected. He just was able to like leave the military service after a time, and then shortly there. But I think I'm not totally 100% sure. Basically, he's got this soldier background.
Get out on the slide.
Yeah, but then through events taking place at the beginning of the game, obviously there's an uprising against Castillo because his father had been a dictator also and had been overthrown back in 1967. And so now he's in power again, was able to get power back, and is kind of bringing back the old ways of his father. Very the like
brutalistic dictator. Not one of those, not one of those nice dictators.
Right?
The
kind. Just evil dictator through and through. And so he's holding the country in this vice grip because he has been able to develop this special plant or a pharmaceutical drug, Vivero, that is grown from this crop. And so what the thing about it though is it's apparently like a cancer curing drug. Like it's it really does just take care of it. So the world doesn't necessarily want to interfere because we're getting
the cancer
we
curing
need this drug, so we're going to turn a blind eye to Castillo and what he's doing. And so you then not long into the game, join up with the rebel guerrilla forces who are fighting against Castillo and his regime and trying to bring freedom back to the people of the land. And so I really thought that this story felt more grounded in that the stakes felt more real.
Yeah.
Far Cry 3, you're a tourist and a college guy basically who is like then his friends get kidnapped by pirates and he gets thrown to this crazy world. Far Cry 5,
it tried to do that. Oh, it's this American religious cult kind of thing.
Militant cult, which true, yes, that's out there, but also
they didn't
it just
lean
fell
hard
flat.
enough. Yeah, they didn't lean hard enough into it.
Yeah.
They didn't commit.
Exactly.
They weren't willing to say what actually needed to be said for that to be an interesting story.
And I just felt like the story it just kind of fell flat. I'll talk a little bit more about it, but it just didn't. It felt like that could have gone that direction and been really good, but the execution just wasn't there. This one I feel like the story and like the backing behind it. I like that Danny Rojas has that soldier background, and so that explains his incredible combat prowess. And I say that in direct contrast to Jason Brody from Far Cry 3, who's just like a random dude who just gets thrown into the situation.
He's like, I'm just a combat aficionado,
kicking ass, and taking names, and you're just kind of like, okay, sure. This is that video game
suspension of disbelief.
Exactly. So I like that kind of felt that. Plus, this one, Far Cry 6 really, I felt, delved into the backgrounds and motivations, not only of the villains, but your companions and the people you're fighting alongside. Because, Danny's there, he's kind of like, I'm just here to help out, because I want to free my country. But then you find out through other groups and other people that you're helping that they have more motivation for it. For example, you help out this trio who's a musical group, and they Radio Libertad is what and they're trying to like establish this across the nation, to spread like their music, which is like preaching for a free Yara, and just like to be, spread their like guerrilla propaganda to get people, not propaganda, but just like stuff to get people to join their side, combat the government's messages that they're putting out and all that stuff. You learn through doing that one of the members is trans, and so they're here being like, okay, look, this is terrible and shitty here, but there's this other fight that I've been fighting. And so now I'm not only trying to free Yara for me and the people who are alive right now, but so that we can build Yara into a better place for other trans people in the country who are, going through oppression and not being accepted for who they are.
I don't think most dictatorships have been historically kind
they have not.
to trans or LGBT.
Exactly. So it like kind of develops that there's more to this than just like them bad, us good. We have to beat it. There's this more. It puts a more human struggle across the board to all the characters, and I thought that was really great. I thought that was a great touch again to make the story feel more grounded. Like I was saying with in comparison to Far Cry 5. The game does follow a similar model where there is the island of Yara and there are the different sections and regions within, and there are like 3, and it's broken down into like states or regions and stuff like that. And each one of those is ruled by one of Anton's henchmen, thank you, or hench people. And so you have to eventually like go through a series of quests, main quest missions to then free those regions before you can actually go after Anton. Gotcha. And so I though that they did this better in that than Far Cry 5. Far Cry 5, again, just because of how they fleshed out the stories better in Far Cry 6, you would go against the Seed family because they were the ones who were like the main baddies of Far Cry 5, leading the cult and everything like that. And it was a brother, Joseph Seed, and his 2 brothers and sister. And they all control the different areas. But since they were like the main people, you never had your big final showdown with them until you had gone through at least what felt like 2 to 3 rounds of them catching you, monologuing at you about how they were here to bring in the new real world order, you somehow escaping, and then being like, oh, I should have killed you, shakes fist. And then that repeats like 2 or 3 times before you finally have your main showdown with them. Yeah. And like that honestly got super old in Far Cry 5.
Oh, yeah, that
and
sounds
this
really
one,
stupid.
they avoided that trope, fortunately. And so they were able to actually like have the interactions with the main villains. And when you got to the final showdowns with them, they felt more impactful. They felt more just like, okay, this small thing we've been working towards, we finally got results and we have our shot. We have to act now.
Kind of like getting to the bosses in Sifu, where it's like you actually feel like you accomplished something to get there, to have the privilege of being able to kill them.
Yes. So I felt like that was balanced a lot better. So it kept me more engaged into it, being like, okay, is this the time I'm actually going to kill the bad guy, or am I just going to have to sit through a cutscene of him talking to me again? I also really liked, in contrast to Far Cry 5, that Danny is a voiced protagonist and a fleshed out character, as opposed to in Far Cry 5 where you're just a deputy, voiceless. Like I don't remember you talking at all, which I realize in bigger sandbox games like this is a big deal also for me liking them.
Yeah.
Case in point, in our stream the other night when you were talking to me and you asked me, you were just like, so you love Horizon, why don't you like Breath of the Wild?
I
honestly think that's a very big point for me.
That's a good point. I did not think about that.
Link is a voiceless protagonist and Aloy is not.
I get that.
And I think that goes a long way for helping me be able to like live in the world better.
Well, next time you try Breath of the Wild, then I'll just voice Link and I'll like give him lines.
You just be in Discord next to me, just be
I'll
like,
be like, well,
talking,
this is what he's
just
thinking
giving
right now.
constant Link voiceover. Yes, please. That would be amazing.
That would be so funny.
So, all those good things are working towards it. What other good stuff? So I really think that the story was better in this instance.
Yeah.
But it's also one of those things, like I said, I got done with the story and I didn't really feel the draw to move on with it. So it's kind of like I got the story, I got what I wanted from the story, and I was good to go.
And I feel like that's such a valid thing with video games these days that are just too long. You finish the game, the story was told, success. That's a success. Yeah. Nothing wrong with that.
And so I feel like sometimes that's kind of why I had to choose, because like I obviously still loved going and clearing all the side missions, the ones that I did, because there would be ones they had a fun little tie-in. I don't even remember now like why they brought it in, but they had a tie-in where you got to like play and you would the achievement for doing this side mission was that you got Rambo's explosive bow and arrow, which was awesome to use.
Cool.
So there's weird things, there's funny things like that. Danny Trejo pops up as a character in the game.
Who's that?
a Mexican actor. He's in like all of Robert Rodriguez's stuff. He's in Spy Kids. Usually has like long hair.
Oh, Machete.
Machete. Yeah.
I didn't know he had a real name.
Danny Trejo. So like he shows
know
up
him as
in like a side
Machete.
as a side character and everything like that. So it's like it's kind of got little fun
cool.
tie-ins. I did see that Far Cry 6 just did a crossover event with Stranger Things, and I'm like, how did that make sense?
God.
I didn't play it.
But also,
still.
as far as like Rambo's bow being in Far Cry 6, how many players, like percentage-wise, do you think were too young to get the reference?
Oh, probably quite a bit, I would imagine.
I'm going to guess 47%. It's my official guess that to a metric we will never know the answer to. There's no answer out there. That's just what I think.
So, you know, that's kind of fun stuff like that. One of the things, another thing, jumping back to the characters and stuff that I just remembered, you meet one of the old revolutionaries from the war back in '67, from the first dictatorship, because they're still kind of out there running one of their own side groups and everything. And you meet one of them, and his name is El Tigre, and he calls you. From the whole time he meets you, because he's like impressed by how fierce you are. He always calls you Baby Tigre.
Oh,
and it's hilarious.
That's so cute.
He's like, get out there and kick their asses, Baby Tigre. And you're like,
so
I love this. I
funny.
love it. Thank you for the encouragement.
You gained a grandpa.
Exactly.
Good job.
And there is a grandma revolutionary as well.
Old badass lady.
Yeah.
Hell yes.
So, you know, you get something for everybody.
Man, they eventually need to make a Horizon game where Aloy's just really old and still out there kicking ass.
That'd be awesome.
That's what
I'd play
I want.
Let's see. What else did I like about it? I already talked a lot about the story. I thought that was really great. Acting across the board, voice acting was really, the acting in general was just really great.
I wanted to ask, like, how was Giancarlo Esposito?
Oh, he was great.
Because he's
he
like
brings
the biggest name actor they got for that game.
he brings his normal villainous gravitas to the role. For sure.
Would you say the villain, is it like memorable and it felt like someone? Basically, how did it feel to go up against that villain? Was it rewarding, or did you not really connect?
That is a interesting question in just how the game plays out. I don't want to be too spoilery here.
Okay,
in the answer,
you don't have to.
But just like I'll just say it's a difficult question, is because he is more of the.
Do you marry him at the end? Do you join his dictatorship? That would be such a fun.
That would
Far
be
Cry
hilarious. Far Cry does fun stuff like that every once in a while. Far Cry 4 at the very beginning. You have a face-to-face with the main villain, Pagan Min, in that one. And he gets up and he says, wait right here, I'll be right back, and leaves the room. You can leave the room, and you're given the choice, like shown heavily, you should leave the room because that's what continues the game in the normal story. But if you wait, he comes back and the game ends. And because it's you joined him and
that's
stuff.
awesome.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's awesome. You should be
Far
able
Cry
to marry that
like
dictator.
That. But no, I'll just say he's more of the...
Where is Far Cry 6, the romance edition, where there's no combat?
There is no romancing in these games.
You just have to smash or pass your way to the top, and victory is getting to the final boss and marrying them.
There we go. I love it.
Oh boy, I have ideas, Far Cry. Call me.
I'll just say he's more of a political opponent rather than a combat opponent.
Okay. Oh, so it's more like mind games.
Yes.
Okay.
Kind of stuff. And just how he maintains his control over the people and everything and exerts his will and stuff like that. So I think that he's a very good villain. Yes. Not as good as Voss, but he's up there.
That's a good measure.
Obviously, in the game, you get the amigos, all your animal companions. I've already talked about Chorizo in a previous episode. I thought Boomer from Far Cry 5 was a great addition. He's in this game, but as Boom Boom, not Boomer. And so it's good to have the two doggo representation in there, but Chorizo takes it and is the best amigo.
I forgot what Chorizo's name was, but while we're recording this, I was trying to think, like, rack my brains. And the only thing I could come up with was Churro.
Close.
Isn't he a dachshund?
Yeah. Also would be a
that
great
dog
name
should
for
be
him,
named
yes.
Churro.
I actually was at Best Buy not too long ago, and they had a Chorizo statue.
Oh my God, so cute.
And I almost bought it, except it was like $100. And I was like,
that's more expensive than a real dog.
I was like, it honestly is. Fender was like free from the because he'd been there for so long from the Humane Society. But I was it was mismarked to where it was, and if it had been its actual price, because it's like $30, I would have gone out for sure. But no, I didn't do it.
Anyways,
let me see what else. Some things I didn't like. I've talked about some of the. I talked about how like the side activities didn't hold their appeal to me as much as in previous ones. It just did feel they felt especially repetitive, and just with the sheer amount of them that there are to do, I was like, I've done this. I think it's fun. They did try to add in some new things too, where there is like these hubs, camp hubs that you can go back to, and you have the option to upgrade their buildings in there, which will give you more abilities and side buffs and stuff like that. But it really didn't affect the gameplay that much, so I did it a couple times and was like, sure, this feels like more of a way to spend the resources that I've gained than actually give a huge benefit to the gameplay.
Gotcha.
Kind of same too with this other new like ultimate ability that you have called Supremo weapons. There are like 4 or 5 different varieties of them that do different things. Like one of them shoots records out of it and like kind of
pizza.
cuts people and stuff like that. It's great.
But like from what's my favorite zombie movie?
2
British guys that are best friends.
Shaun of the Dead.
Shaun of the Dead, yes.
Yeah.
Like
so
my favorite.
It's kind of stuff like that.
Cool.
But the same thing, you can go and get various upgrades for them, but you have to find like uranium and stuff like that around the map and different things like that to upgrade them. But I didn't use it that much because I'm so used to the normal Far Cry formula of just using the weapons in your disposal and your weapons wheel, because you would have to activate it by doing the L1, R1, like tried and true ultimate release mechanism.
We all know
buttons.
Yeah, press Q to ult. That's
exactly.
all you have to do.
And so it's kind of that thing. And it was like the main one that you start off with, like basically just launches a missile salvo and takes out everything around you. It's really cool looking, and like how it fires off and the damage it causes. But it almost feels like too OP, and but to the point where it's like I didn't remember to use it because I was still good enough with my main weapons that I never really felt that I needed it. There were a couple times I did use it where I was just like really pinned down by like 3 helicopters and stuff like that, and I was just like, all right, time to end this real quick. But I probably used it that many times, like 3 times, you know. And so I was just like, cool, it gives you this other option of more of like a full on, ultimate ability, but just really didn't add much to me to really feel like I wanted to use it that much.
Fair enough.
One of the other things that I kind of felt where it did drag a little, psych, that might have been my last note. I feel like it was.
Okay. Well.
So I feel like, like I said, I feel like the story for this one is very strong. And I mean, the combat and the gameplay of it is still that very core Far Cry mechanic where there's just danger at every turn. I did like this one, though, that it did have, since you are like establishing on this island of Yara has like this, tragically combat riddled history and everything through it of these different guerrilla groups going through and trying to like bring back peace to the island, that there is like this network that you can follow of paths that are safe to travel on, that can be like shortcuts and everything, like through mountains, under bridges, under roads, and different stuff that the enemy forces don't use.
Nice.
But if you want to, you can still drive on the main roads and fight like everybody who comes at you down the road.
Oh, no, thank you. I like having that option though, because I would be like, I'll take the other path. I ain't gonna fight you.
You can play the stealth,
Yes.
go that way. I mean, you could technically, because you can just go like and like melee people. Oh, I still think if you've got a machete, you like stab them. So I don't know if you can do it totally past this run.
You can't just bonk them with
no,
the
you're
hilt.
not just no. You're stabbing.
Damn.
And so that core stuff of Far Cry in the gameplay and the combat that makes Far Cry so fun is still very much there. Like, I had a blast, like making things go boom and just causing mayhem, trying to do like fully stealth runs and like never get noticed, going in runs to like clear checkpoints where I was just guns a-blazing, going crazy. I did also really enjoy, another thing about it is that there's not a skill menu that you unlock per se. All of the thing, or skill tree, all of your buffs and things are either given to you by doing like those camp building upgrades, or through the weapons you choose. You can then upgrade mods to them that give various different abilities. But the main like character abilities that you have are upgraded through your clothing choices.
Oh, okay.
And so there are different clothing sets hidden throughout, and pieces of clothing that are hidden throughout the island that you can find.
Everybody loves a good outfit.
Everybody loves a good outfit. And what's great about this is that obviously if you keep a set, it gives you a bonus. Like if you get a whole complete 5 pieces of the set, you get a bonus. But say the set looks like trash and you have cooler stuff, you can swap the look with other pieces of clothing that you
like
have.
Layering.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it doesn't change the base stat. It just changes the appearance. So that was really fun.
Monster Hunter occasionally does that where it'll have layered armor where it's literally just there to look cool and physically layer over your actual armor so that you can keep all the stats but look way cooler.
Yes.
Very
so I
important.
really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Granted, in the main time when you're playing the game, you only see your hands. So it's not like
It's the thought
that counts, that knowing you look like a badass, you know what I mean? Which is a lot better. Like Far Cry 5 had a massive like clothing, cosmetic library and like microtransactions of like outfits that you could purchase. But I was like, why? I'm this nameless, faceless person, just the deputy. And like, sure, I can get one that made me look like a motocross, like, you know, like have some cool stuff there.
First of all, lame.
Whatever, you know what I mean? But still, it's like, I like, what is my incentive here to buy this outfit? It just didn't translate there.
The absolute highest armor you should be, or outfit you should be able to get in Far Cry is just a full-on old-fashioned clown suit. Just the wig,
I'm sure that
the
actually,
nose,
I feel like that
all
is a
of
thing.
them. It should be like a series thing that the final best outfit is just a clown suit.
Yeah, I feel like that
Mr.
should be
Biggles. That will be the name of the outfit.
That might already be a thing. I'll have to go check. But I feel like, so overall, Far Cry 6 had a very enjoyable story, better than the ones that had been in the last few iterations. Because Far Cry, I don't remember where Primal falls in the mix. I feel it's after 4.
It's not what I was. It's a Pennywise outfit.
Ew.
Not the same.
That's
I wanted
terrifying.
legit clown, not this horror clown.
Funny clown, not like
Oh,
insane murder clown.
Hang on. Come on, fucking. Oh, God. Oh, God. Look, that's horrible.
Oh, God.
Oh, God.
Oh, God.
Oh, God. That's not
I don't
what
like that
wanted
at all.
This isn't Mr. Biggles.
No.
I don't know who
That
this
looks terrifying.
stranger
That's a thing of nightmares.
Gross.
But no, I think if you're a fan of the Far Cry series, definitely give it a play. I think the story is better than what has been there for the past couple entries into the series.
Installments.
And I just think it has keeps the spirit of what makes Far Cry great is still very much there. So
Very
I think if you're a
nice.
fan, give it a shot.
I also feel like it's definitely the kind of game that's going to go on deep discount for this year's
I mean,
holidays.
I bought it on
Yeah.
Black Friday, I think, because it already hit a discount. Like it was like already like they put on sale for like $35.
I feel like it'll
right
probably
there.
just be a matter of time. Well, this might not be true. Does Far Cry ever really make it to like the PS Plus lineup?
Good question.
'Cause
I
I-
feel like one has before.
Oh, okay. Well,
I'll have to go check.
You know, who knows? So maybe
it
don't
could,
hold
in
your
a-
breath
yeah.
for a PS Plus, but it could.
could.
You never know.
One thing, another side note that has held true for all Far Cry games, I suck at flying in Far Cry games. For whatever reason, you get in a plane in that, I lose all sense of what the hell I'm supposed to do. I crash them. I hate the missions. Fortunately, there was only like one mission in this one where you had to fly, and it was terrible. And I hated every second of it because I just can't hit anybody. I can't steer. I don't know what it is. I do not have that problem in any other game. Usually when you have to jump into a plane
You just weren't meant to be a pilot.
just not in Far
It's
Cry.
just
I
not in
can't
you.
do it. It's
super
a
funny.
pet peeve, and I thought maybe this one will be different.
I was
No.
going to say maybe you're just not meant to be a pilot, but you love Star Wars Squadrons.
Yeah.
So that clearly
And
can't be true.
And I'm okay.
Well, you
I
can-
can actually
you can do it.
pilot
You can
in
hit
that game.
things.
Yes, this one I cannot do it. It's crazy. But no, Far Cry 6. If you're a fan of the series, I would say give it a go. And I think it's a good starting point too if you are new to the series
Nice.
as well.
All right, awesome. Well, why don't we round this show out with a little bit of news?
Let's
and
do
what's
it.
out and what's new and coming, whatever. You know.
Moment with Mogan time,
we
everybody.
all know what's happening. So just in case you missed it, because we did have our stream week last time around, at the end of last month, a couple of games came out that are actually probably worth a look. Ghostwire Tokyo
Yep.
is out now for PlayStation 5 and PC. Kirby and the Forgotten Land is out for the Switch. Tiny Tina's Wonderlands
I
came
do
out.
want to play that
I
one
do
too.
too. Yeah,
I
it
know
looks fun.
one of our patrons, Super
Super
Saiyan Ace,
Saiyan,
he's been
yeah.
playing it and saying that it's a great time.
It looks
I
awesome.
want to play it as well.
This is
someday.
the only Borderlands game I have ever had any amount of interest in. It's now or never for me. That's out for PS5, Xbox Series X and S, PS4, and Xbox One. And then the Death Stranding Director's Cut did make its way to PC, and most importantly of all, Lawn Mowing Simulator.
Oh my
Out
God.
now for
I'm
PS5 and PS4. So if you're
I
in
can't believe I missed that.
if you're
I'm
into
gonna have to go
mowing
pick it up.
lawns, there's a game for you. But as of this month, new to April, so as of this episode's not this week.
This week,
Whatever.
yeah.
This week, people.
What is it? The 7th?
Yes. Lego Star Wars The Skywalker
Okay.
Saga. You want to talk about this one?
Quick aside. This one, I obviously have the excitement for it because it's a Star Wars game, obviously.
Obviously.
Lego Star Wars games are very fun. I haven't actually played a ton of them in the past, but any of the Lego games are a great fun time. But anyway, this game is releasing tomorrow, and I can't decide because I'm gonna get it. I know that for sure. I can't decide since I am still so far behind the horizon, if I should need to wait, and get myself a little bit further through Horizon before I pick it up.
You better make it to those Hosbandos first, or I will sue you.
But it's a Star Wars Lego game that's getting insane reviews sitting on the day before its release. And because it's supposed to be like, it goes through the whole saga, the whole, all, position, places, locations, characters from, tons of minifig Star Wars characters that you can be, so many unlockable things to do. I'm pretty sure they're even like open world-esque in all the different locations you can be. So there's a ton of stuff to do, but which then leads to my next problem. I can't decide if I want to get it on the Switch because I feel like being able to play it anywhere and on the go is the only way that I'm going to really make quick progress through it.
Yeah.
But just the kind of game this is, I can see it being great trophy hunting game because I feel like there's going to be so many, and for all the different exploration things like that. And I really think I'm going to miss not getting those sweet, sweet trophy pops.
I get it.
When I'm playing through it.
Yeah.
It's a conundrum and I can't decide.
It's too bad that more games don't build their achievement system into their game.
Yeah.
Like Hollow Knight actually does that for the Switch. And it's like, yeah, I wish that all of them did this.
I still just don't understand that why Nintendo doesn't have one.
Yeah, I don't. That's the better question.
Which, whatever. Fine. Be the way that you are, Nintendo, sure. But it's making it hard for me to decide what I'm going to do. And this may be completely spoiled because I might, by the time this episode come out, have already just
bought
made a
and played
decision
it.
and bought
You're
the game.
done. Well, another game that's out that no one should play because it's a scam, MLB The Show 22, a sports game. Yeah, it's a sports game. Don't play it. Chinatown Detective Agency is also out for Xbox One, Switch, and PC. Chrono Cross Radical Dreamers Edition. This is the new sort of remastered entry for Chrono Cross. I'm actually very excited about this. It's out for all current gen consoles, Switch, and PC. Godfall Ultimate Edition is out for all next-gen consoles, current-gen consoles, and PC. Sherlock Holmes, The Devil's Daughter.
Ooh.
Oh, boy.
Do you need to jump to those games after you finish all
Yeah, I was thinking about it. That sounds pretty fun. That's out for the Switch. Slipstream is out for next-gen and current-gen and Switch consoles. The House of the Dead remake is out for Switch exclusively. And then getting us into the very beginning of next week, which is where we'll stop, 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim. A lot of people don't know about this game. It is supposedly one of the best JRPGs of the past 10 to 15 years. It's supposedly incredible. So 13... Birdie agreed with me. Yep. 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim, or Aegis Rim, I don't know how people pronounce it. I've always said Aegis, is making its port to the Switch. It's been out for a while now on at least PlayStation, but it's getting a Switch port on April 12th. And that's everything that's out now and coming soon.
Very cool.
I'm out of breath.
Lots of stuff we talked about today. 2 reviews, news. It's a lot.
Yeah. By the way, E3 is canceled.
Yeah. RIP, pour one out.
RIP. E3 is not happening again this year, and PlayStation Plus did debut their new. Sony debuted their new.
It's like the revamped PlayStation Plus.
It's basically Game Pass competitor for PlayStation, and it's not as good. So
it's one of those things. It's like I'm waiting to see. I want to see. I'm probably honestly going to try it out. I think I want to because being more invested in the PlayStation ecosphere, I feel like it might have more reward and benefit to me than jumping on with Game Pass and stuff like that. Yes, there are some glaring differences from it, being that there will not be first-party launch titles available day one in the service and everything. But it is nice in that it is cheaper than the Game Pass offerings, in that you can still there's going to be 3 tiers of membership, being that there's like the the base standard tier, which is exactly the same as what you currently have, and the price is not going up. It's still staying $60 a year.
Thank goodness.
Then there's, I believe it's it starts with an E, I think. It's like the next level 2 basically.
Elite?
Maybe. It just comes with a few more like options available, but basically there's going to be like 700 plus games that you can go and play in a library, in an active library, depending on the tier of membership that you have. I think if you're the highest tier, you also have access to stream PS3 and even like PS2, PS1, like a vast collection of older games. So I'm curious to see how this does apply, because on one hand I look at it and be like, yes, that'd be a really great thing to have, especially for doing the show and being able like I know new games won't come out, but what if there's like this older classic game that I just want to jump into, like
Vampire?
Play a couple hours.
Older classic game like Vampire.
Vampire's so good. But just to jump in and play for a couple hours, but I don't have to go either like buy it, do all that jazz. I can just play it through the membership that I have. So it has some pros and cons there. I do like that, yes, because the highest tier of it is $120 a year, and I think that that's comparable to like the base. Yeah, because a Game Pass, I want to say, is $10 a month. So,
okay. Yeah, 120 a year.
you know, so the highest tier of this PlayStation service, you're getting the base level of Game Pass. So, you know, there's kind of those comparisons that still have to be seen. And once, like I'm saying, I'm thinking I probably will try it out for a month or two just to see, like, how's this feel?
Just see if it's worth it.
See if it's worth it. But, you know,
It's
I'm
called
curious
Spartacus,
to see.
by the way.
Yeah, they're codenamed Spartacus, which I think should stay that way. But they're naming it PS Plus and the new PS Plus, which also means they're getting rid of PS Now and kind of like rolling it into the same thing.
That I'm actually grateful for. I think that's a good move because nobody on planet Earth that I know,
I don't know anybody
has
who uses PS
ever
Now.
said they use PS Now. So I think that's the good move. Roll it into your thing that's actually making
which is
money.
basically it's the like PlayStation's like streaming platform to be able to like stream games and stuff from the cloud or and everything to your consoles and whatnot. So they're kind of all being wrapped into this new revamped PS Plus service. So that will be launching. I believe it's starting to be roll out in June.
Yeah.
And I want to say it's going to start they're going to release it in Asia first and then slowly release it to the other regions. So it might not be available in June for here in the US, but I'm sure they'll give us more updates and dates as it gets closer to the release. So
I'm not going to cry.
check it out if you want, you know? But you should also check out Cozy Grove. And you should also check out Far Cry 6 if it suits your fancy.
Both good games.
Both are great games.
Both very different games.
Different games
Different.
completely.
Very
yes.
different.
But, you know, good in their own right. So, with that, everybody, that concludes this episode of Team Chat Podcast. Thanks for stopping by and listening this week. And come back next week for another great episode. But until then, I'm one of your hosts, Jerrett Wilson, joined by my co-host, Rachel.
Peace out.
We'll see you all next time.